G'day ramshacklers. How you going? How's the zombie apocalypse treating you? Bit shit, isn't it? Today's not actually a music theory video. Today is just a little ramble on the state of music and what it means to be a musician at the beginning of what feels like the end of the world and even the end of music to some. I don't see it that way. But I think it's a really tough time, and it's a really tough time to be in a lot of professions, actually. I don't think musicians are being singled out in particular. But basically, we're pretty much all up shit creek without a paddle at the moment, aren't we? And I would guess I wasn't overly worried or stressed terribly. I was a little bit, like a bit of panic, a bit of worry. But this morning, I thought I really need to go and do some shopping. Now, my daughter, who's 23 weeks pregnant, said to me, "Mum, can you get me 2 litres of Pinoclean?" And I thought, fuck, got to go to Coles. So this morning I took my elderly mum down. Unfortunately, we missed pension hour. That was my mistake. And we arrived at what appeared to be crazy fuck hour. We got down there pretty early. We got down there at 9 o'clock, all ready to shop. And I tell you something, I discovered a few things this morning that were pretty eye-opening. The first thing I discovered is panic is infectious. Second thing is, people are fucking crazy. And the third thing is, my mum thinks it can all be solved with a solution of metho and water. On your mum. So as we were making our way around Coles this morning, and for those of you that have been following these videos, g'day Lisa, hope you're hanging in there, Hildy. I've had the worst timed cold and flu in the world, so I was, coughing my way around into my arm, of course, seems to be the new protocol, and so I was getting a few dirty looks, and everyone who knows me knows I hate shopping. So, of course, our cupboards are always empty. So while I was down there, I thought, oh, fuck, I'd better stock up on a few things. Now, my husband very smartly did an internet shop before he left for work. He works overseas most of the time, although whether he ever comes back again, I don't know. Interesting that. Anyway, that's a topic for another video. So he'd already done a semi-formal zombie apocalypse shop. And while I was down there, the panic is infectious. And I thought, fuck. And I'm walking around going, baked beans are on special. I should get 5 cans of baked beans. And there's a sign there that says a limit of 2. I don't eat fucking baked beans. It doesn't matter whether I buy 2 cans or 5 cans or 500 fucking cans of baked beans. They're never going to be eaten. But you know what? I stood there and I contemplated buying some just in case. And then I noticed something. I noticed that really in terms of food, I reckon we're going to be all right. Because it's all the dumb fucks buying up sausages, mince, fucking those pre-made sauces that you add into shit and put in the oven. And really, if you're like us and you don't really buy a whole lot of cheap shit anyway, I reckon we'd be all right. Coles was a bit fucked really, so I went next door to the fruit and veg shop and it had everything. It had nice pasta, it had, nice tinned tomatoes and tomato sauce, fresh fruit, fresh veg, nice quality bread, cheese. And I thought, fuck you, Coles, we'll be right. I don't know how we're going to do without toilet paper and washing powder and all the other stuff that the shelves were just empty. But, I reckon we're going to be able to make a decent pasta and have a glass of red wine until we're dead. Don't know when that'll be, folks. Anyway, back to the topic of music and being a musician. Now, it's a fuck time to be a musician. I don't know any of my friends who have not basically lost all their gigs, all their teaching, just gone, boom, like that, overnight. Pretty scary stuff. And I'm not even talking socioeconomics here. It hasn't. It's not like the elite musicians are getting off any easier than us little bunch of music teaching children types down the bottom. You know, the opera's going under, the fucking ACO's about to cark it, the SSO's not having concerts, and, you know, this has affected all of us, from, you know, elite musicians right down to those of us that, you know, earn our living just kind of pottering around schools and trying not to kill children, you know. So it's really just cut a swag through all of it. And what does it mean? Well, I guess it means that for a lot of us, packing shelves at Woolies is in our short-term future. But long-term, what does it mean? Well, you know what? I'm naturally a pessimist. I'm a glass half empty kind of girl, you know. But I actually think we're going to be all right, because I think what'll happen, this will be the birth of some amazing collaborations, some new technological platforms, some new ways of looking at music, defining music, creating music. I think it's going to be ace, actually. And people like Eric Whittaker, well, we'll just look back at them as prophetic, won't we? So last night I play in a crazy ass ensemble down in Wollongong, and they're called the Con Artists, and they're a bunch of loonies, and I love them. I absolutely love them. The music's great. Everything about it is just fun, you know. And last night we tried a Zoom rehearsal. You know, I don't know whether you're ever going to be able to do rehearsal on that platform. Seems like chaos to me, but Jesus, it was good to catch up with everyone. Say hi, how you going? Do you need anything? And I've been kind of thinking about how can we go forward, and there's the technology's there for us to do this kind of stuff, but most of us just don't use it because we're very stuck in our ways of thinking about how to teach music. And you know what? We're just going to have to move on and embrace new technology, embrace new ways of teaching, because it's never going back. You know, the horse has bolted. It's out there now. And I think we've just got to hang on to our hats and go for the ride, because I think ultimately it's going to be a huge, huge pivotal point in the history of music, you know. And some exciting times ahead, some bloody horrible times ahead, but some exciting times ahead. And my mate Nick Galvin, and I love Nick, he's a top bloke. He's a pretty decent trumpet player. He's not great at reading rhythm, but he really cracks out a great solo, and he's a great guy. He also happens to be editor of I don't know if I'm allowed to say it given my worldwide you know, network and how many thousands of people are following my channel, but a pretty major newspaper, and he does the art stuff and writes about, you know, what's going to be happening. And he's pretty distressed about the death of classical music and what's going to happen to organisations like the SSO and the ACO. And I didn't want to be a facetious asshole, but I also think, in my opinion, that was coming to an end anyway. There was a natural close that was going to happen to, you know, rich old people, you know, sitting in a giant building that's inaccessible to a lot of people, with, you know, musicians separated on stage that are elite musicians. The population of those audiences is aging. It's harder and harder to engage new audiences, and I think that was on the decline anyway. And I just think this is just going to close it out quicker, definitely quicker. But I think that way of viewing, looking and approaching classical music, that was on the decline anyway. And that's sad. Like, you know, that is sad. That's really sad. I've spent thousands of concerts, you know, the SSO, you know, in the Opera House and stuff, and, you know, it's an end of an era, and it definitely is an end of an era, and I don't know if it's going to recover, because you know, the patronage of those kind of organisations are elderly. Fortunately, they're really fucking rich as well, So I reckon there's going to be, you know, there'll be some patrons around who'll dig deep in the pockets and keep those organisations afloat, because I don't reckon the fucking government's going to come to the party. But how is music going to go forward, and how are we as musicians going to go forward? Well, the only way we're going to go forward is to embrace new technology. For those of us that are technologically incompetent, sorry, Hildy, is this the right way to... No, it's not, is it? It's still going to be narrow. Yeah, sorry, mate. Those of us that are shit at technology, well, we're just going to have to learn how to use it. And those of us that are not shit at technology, you know what? Get off your fucking asses, and can you develop some kind of platform that we can jam and gig and create? You know, just bring it on. Let's not wallow in what's gone and what's past, because you know what? I think it's dying in the arse anyway. Let's embrace what's coming down the line. You know, this amazing space of collaboration, this need for connection, and I reckon in terms of our future as musicians and as teachers and as educators, I mean, yeah, who really knows? Who really knows? But, you know, parents are going to want to get their kids back to routine as soon as possible. You know, they're going to want the kids to, you know, not practice their clarinets again. And things will just roll back, and it'll never be normal. But I reckon us teachers will be okay. It's just going to be a real shit time for us. But for composers and collaborators and people like that, this can be an exciting time. This is a whole uncharted area, you know. And I'm just dying to see what comes out of this, and hopefully not dying before I can see what comes out of it. So look, if you're a musician, it's a bit shit, and I'm really sorry. From my experience at Coles this morning, they are packing shelves while people are shopping. There seems to be a lot of people down there packing shelves. So maybe that's in our short-term future. I don't know. And for all the people that have been smart, like my friend Renee, and she's just recently graduated as a music therapist, you're going to be right, mate, because Jesus Christ, the mental health toll is going to be enormous, and music is an absolutely joyous way to tackle mental health, isn't it? It just brings so much joy and connection and meaning into people's lives. So good call, Renee. I don't know if you saw this coming, mate, but music therapy, that's brilliant. And in our own way, we can all be music therapists, can't we? So I'm just encouraging you to stay connected with your fellow musicians. You know, use the platforms that are available. Just even if it's Zoom or something, you know, just get together with your ensemble and have a chat. We did that last night. I drank a whole tumbler of sherry. I was smashed by the end of it. I leapt up off my pianola to go and make something to eat and nearly fell over. I was fucking pissed, I tell you. But it's okay, because I think I made a really bad video while I was pissed, so I might have to go back and just touch that one up a bit. But anyway, fellow musicians, don't panic. Don't go to Coles. Be like my mum. Go and buy some fucking methylated spirits and spray it everywhere. My whole house smells like metho. I'm as high as a kite from sniffing metho. And who knows? She might have the answer, hey? See you, ramshacklers. Stay safe.